with the clean chorus to get all the T-Pain fans. Hey, what's going on, guys? Benny here, and I'm here to talk about basically a subject that I feel like is really that needs to be talked about. Not like needs to be talked about, but like in a sense of a way, like explaining things on where like the subgenre of music is going. And basically, we're talking about the element of deathcore. And today, deathcore is basically death metal meets hardcore. There's rarely any cleans in there. The only time I've heard cleans in a video is when Whitechapel's done it. And Suicide Silence, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, basically, deathcore is that hardcore style with some heavy breakdowns and hardcore elements. And you got those really low screams and the really high screams. And you got great vocalists that come out through here. Metalcore is really more hardcore punk meets like not death metal in a way, but it has like a lighter vibe to it. It leans more on that hardcore punk side. And it also brings in the elements of the cleans, and it has lighter guitars. I'm not saying a lot of metalcore is brutal. Check out Fifth Third King if you want like bands that are close to deathcore. Yes, deathcore. Listen to Pissed Off by Fifth Third King. You'll understand why I'm saying that. Let's get into it. So I'm choosing 5 bands today that I feel like are going to put deathcore back on the map. Not put it back on the map, but deathcore bands that I feel like are reinventing the genre. On top of reinventing the genre, doing their own thing to kind of give it a fresh new idea. And it's going to be 5 bands, so comment bands that you feel like are going to be like, don't attack me and like saying like, you know, you freaking pleb, like you forgot this band and yeah. I know I can't put 30 bands into one video, I can only do 5. So let's start out with number 5. Number 5, I'm starting with a band called Signs of the Swarm. They were before were fronted by CJ McCreary, but now he's fronting Lorna Shore. We'll get to them. They're fronting by Lorna Shore, and they're with their brand new vocalist David. They do basically like, it's like slam meets deathcore, but it has a lot of, it's deathcore, but it has a lot of slam elements. Basically, what I feel like they're doing to reinvent the genre, they're not doing that same, basic pattern where it goes high scream, low scream, high scream, brutal breakdown, and that's it. It's not that same pattern every song. They really do change it up. They really do some cool stuff with the guitars. Check out the song Nightcrawler from this record. It's a great song because it starts out with a cool clean guitar on I think it's the E and A string, and it just goes from there, and it's a really beautiful intro, and they change it up. Like I said, if you listen to everything they've put out, no song is the same. They all have their own different melody and vibe, and it's just a brand new reinvention to it. It's like down-tempo meets hardcore meets slam with old-style deathcore. If you listen to Signs of the Swarm, they're not like a Whitechapel, they're not like a Suicide Silence. They're their own thing, and I feel like they are really pushing the envelope right now on bands that are really changing the style of deathcore and really pushing it forward. Every time I'm on a Facebook forum, I always see them on the Facebook forum with a band that's really going up. I've never seen them live, but all the live videos I've seen, they pack a house, and they can really go. They're really going to go far. Signs of the Swarm, they will go far. I promise you, they will. Next up is a band called Lorna Shore. Lorna Shore was fronted by Tom Barber, now fronted by CJ. And Tom Barber's with Chelsea Grin, but Chelsea Grin's already made their impact. But I am going to talk a little bit about Chelsea Grin in just a little bit, but I'm not putting them on this list. But just hey, before you start throwing stuff at me, just listen. Let's get back to Lorna Shore, and then we'll go back to the argument. Lorna Shore is like black metal meets deathcore with that slam. Some songs have that slam style, but it's really I called it blackcore for a little bit. That's how black metal influenced it was. It was so cool to see that different style of black metal meets deathcore, and they really did a perfect job on it. When Tom Barber was in the band, he had those highs and those lows that were just wicked. It's not them like satanic stuff, but it was just like in your face kind of stuff. It was stuff you've never heard before. No one really blended that black metal style with the deathcore style, and Lorna Shore did that, and they really did it well, and that's why I feel like they are really changing the game. The new stuff they're putting out with CJ, again, it's not the same stuff you've heard over and over and over and over again. It's all new stuff, and it's all going to be hot. Every time they drop a record, it's always popular, always amazing, and it's just the nastiest stuff you'll hear in your life, and that's a good thing. Nastiest stuff you'll hear in your life. I promise you, if you listen to Lorna Shore, you will know what I'm talking about. It's like if Behemoth and Suicide Silence had a child, and then that child had a child with Whitechapel, old Whitechapel. That's Lorna Shore. They're putting in elements of black metal, deathcore, down-tempo, but more on the black metal side, and I think that's really cool. I'm actually a big fan of black metal, and I think they're going to go far, and I think they're really changing the genre. Next up is a little band I like to call Spite. You guys are looking at me like, Spite? Spite isn't a big band, but when they play, they sell out shows. They got on the Chaos and Carnage tour. They got bumped up above Fallujah. That's how popular they are with the fans. Everyone comes out to see Spite and then leave. I saw them at Rage Fest last year. There was with Attila, Cross Your Fingers, Rings of Saturn, Spite, and Suicide Silence. And yes, people left after Spite, and Suicide Silence was up next. And Volumes was on there too. But Volumes, I didn't see Volumes because something happened and I had to go do some stuff. But anyways, Spite really is putting that hardcore style with the deathcore. And if you don't believe me when I'm doing, listen to songs like IED or Kill or Be Killed. Really two-steppy stuff, really stuff that bangs your head, really stuff that makes you want to, it just pumps you up. It's very angry music. Spite isn't something you can just listen to leisurely, even though I do. Spite was easy for me to get into because they had cool melody. If you listen to stuff like Night Terror by Spite is actually pretty melodic for deathcore. If you listen to that opening 3 a.m. You're Not Supposed to Be Here, when I see them live, everyone screams it. That pit goes crazy. Spite is angry. They're disgustingly good, and that's a good thing, disgusting me on like the vocals. Darius, also from Spite, has some of the most unique vocals I've heard in the deathcore scene. Like I said, he's not another Phil Bosman, he's not another Mitch Lucker. He is his own thing, and that's what I think is so cool about him. He has that, I don't know how to even describe it. It's like when the highs and mids meet each other, but then the lows come in, it's like, hey baby, you're trying to go for 3. That's what his screams are. Crazy, insanely crazy. It's angry music. It's not your same traditional hardcore with breakdown, fast breakdown. It's not the or the whole time or that. Yes, I just smacked my stomach. It's not the same thing over and over. It's angry. It's aggressive. You listen to stuff like IED, to stuff like Night Terrors, and you listen to the newer stuff like The Root of All Evil. It's different. It's not the same stuff you've heard over and over and over and over again. And I think that is an amazing thing to do. And they're different. You know, they're not the same thing over and over and over. It's angry, different, it's mixed up. And that's what I think is cool about them. Again, I just love Spite. I'm not putting them on here just because I love them. I love a bunch of bands, but I can't put them on this list because they have kind of that same deathcore sound. I'm not going to say who they are. They have that same deathcore sound, and it's pushing the envelope with deathcore, but it's not really doing anything new. It's good, it's great. It's not doing anything new, and Spite is really doing something no one's heard. I can hear you guys in the back saying like, what about Traitors? They're just like a Traitors. We're going to get to Traitors right now, which leaves me. Number 2, Traitors. Traitors is a band fronted by Tyler Shelton, one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. Check out his Instagram if you don't believe me. Also, he's also like another Darius. Not the same vocals ever. Listen to the Hate Campaign, you'll get back at me. He doesn't do highs, and he really doesn't do lows. He has this cool mid-scream that is brand new. It's not the same thing. It's very angry, but it's not angry with his voice. But the music is angry. It's like Spite, little more slower. angry stuff, and I feel like they're reinventing the genre because they're taking like that down-tempo side and the hardcore punk side of deathcore and fusing it together. It's really cool what they're doing because it's not just the whole time or the dun, dun kind of stuff, or the really just low dun, dun, dun stuff the whole time. It's different and it's not the same thing every song. That's also another thing. It's not the same song every time. It's not the same breakdown or everything. They are different in what they do. They mix it up every song. They're not the same style. They have that spite. It's like Spite meets probably like old school Chelsea Grin meets, I don't know. I can't really think of the band. Maybe old school Suicide Silence. That's probably something, or maybe like an old school Whitechapel. Traitors are doing their own thing. They're not that average deathcore band. Their stuff, it's really cool because they're heavy, but they're not heavy. They're angry. And I feel like, in my opinion, there's a difference between angry and heavy, and they lean more on the angry side. But don't get me wrong, they are heavy. Check them out. They are a very angry band, and I love angry bands. You will not be disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to a band that is changing it up, but is not the same, is not a big band. Well, they are a big band, but they're Chelsea Grin. But Chelsea Grin came up in the deathcore era. Chelsea Grin is like a Whitechapel Suicide Silence. Chelsea Grin, listen to Eternal Nightmare. It's not the same stuff you've heard. It's not Job for a Cowboy. It's not Suicide Silence. It's Chelsea Grin. Listen to Hostage. I first heard Hostage and I was like, this sounds like Ymir. But it doesn't sound like Ymir. And I was like, what's going on? Hostage is amazing. Then you listen to songs like Dead Rose. Dead Rose has that really crazy riff that goes on the whole time. And it's like, I'm not going to say it sounds like blackened deathcore, but it has that element at the beginning where it goes at the beginning. It's really cool. It's because it's like that blast beat that you hear in black metal that you don't hear in deathcore. And I feel like Chelsea Grin is really pushing that envelope, especially when Alex Coheeler left. May he be better. He's doing something cool with Grudges. Check him out. Great rapper. I'm not going to deny it. He's a great rapper. Tom Barber, when Tom Barber came in, they really put a lot of that rap influence into the deathcore, and I feel like that was really cool. Because again, it's not the same formula over and over. It's not the same deathcore formula. It's something new. That's why I feel like Chelsea Grin is really pushing the envelope on what they are doing right now. And I promise you, you listen to the new stuff, if you are a fan of rap, you will definitely love the new record. You listen to songs like See You Soon, but let's be honest, it's like groove metal meets death metal. It's like if Lamb of God had a baby with a deathcore band, one of the 2006, 2007 deathcore bands. It's not the same thing that you've heard on previous Chelsea Grin records. Probably the closest thing I've gotten to it is Playing with Fire. Even then, Playing with Fire is its own thing. It doesn't sound like Requiem. It doesn't sound like Herbanger. It's its own thing, and I feel like that's why Chelsea Grin needs to be talked about in this video, because Chelsea Grin is really changing it up with Eternal Nightmare. Number 1. I had to put 2 bands at number 1. But I thought you said it's going to be a top 5 with it. Hold on. The 2 bands I put at number 1 are Black Tongue and Angel Maker. I was going to put Aversion's Crown on there, but something was not telling me, but I had this feeling like, are they really changing up that formula? Because they're not sticking to that formula, they're making it new, but it's not more, it's exciting, it's great. I'm trying to like say it in like layman's terms. If you get what I'm saying, I don't know if you can get what I'm saying. I love Aversion's Crown, don't get me wrong. They are amazing and I want to see them. They're a band I have on my bucket list to see. I love Aversion's Crown. I was going to put them on there, but I feel like Angel Maker and Black Tongue do stuff that are not the same from anything else. Angel Maker, I was listening to the new Angel Maker record. It's very hardcore punk, but it's slow. It's stuff that you can 2-step to at a show, but it's also stuff that you can like bang your head to really slow and move in the pit. It's also they also do this really cool things with the guitars. It's like a melody. If you listen to Leech, that melody part in Leech, it's like a melody with the guitars, but it's not a melody. And I feel like that's what Angel Maker's really doing cool. They're bringing brand new things in with the guitar. That's what I feel like Angel Maker's doing right now, and they are killing it. Black Tongue. Let's just say they're putting that down-tempo style into it, and they are just ripping it apart. Black Tongue is amazing. Great down-tempo stuff. And it's weird because Black Tongue, when I heard after Coma came out, and that whole record came out, and like a couple months later, I've heard the same. After that, I heard so many people not intimidating them, but like making this not copying them, but like doing their own thing with that Black Tongue style. And I feel like that's why Black Tongue is really doing their own thing. You know, they're a band now that's inspiring a bunch of these down-tempo bands, and I really think that's cool with Black Tongue. Black Tongue also has people with Infinite Annihilator, but I can't put Infinite Annihilator on this list because they're just like a Rings of Saturn. They don't do that crazy guitar stuff. No, but if you listen to that, the guitar stuff and the drum stuff, it weighs out, in my opinion. But I just want to say that's why Black Tongue, they do really cool stuff with that down-tempo stuff. It's like if rap, in a way, like I would say like that dark trap stuff meant more down. It's like, here's down-tempo, and it's like if you sprinkle some of that rap stuff. You listen to Coma, there's that one part into it where that one guy comes up and he's like, I can't even remember what he says in it, but he does this like cool rap thing with his vocals. It's not like, what's up, this motherfucking Black Tongue, oh say it. It's not that. I'm talking about if you listen to his style and he does that breakdown part into it, it's not the same vocals again. It's like a rap metal, not a rap metal style. It's not new metal like Limp Bizkit. It's its own thing. Black Tongue is doing their own thing every other song, and I think that's why it's working for them. It's down-tempo, but it also could be fast, but it's down-tempo, and no one's done down-tempo like they have, and that's why I feel like they will get up there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ben Zarn. If I've gotten you mad at this list, please comment below on how big of a jerk I am, and please comment bands that I feel like are bands that are pushing the limit and bringing new stuff into the deathcore genre. I would love to hear them. Message me. I love to talk about this stuff. Message me, and I would love to have a little conversation with you. If you disagree with me, please comment down why. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. My name is Benjamin Zarn. You guys have a nice day.